Hey everyone, welcome to Build Series. I'm GIBSON Johns from AOL Entertainment, and today I'm with the ladies of Bravo's Real Housewives of New Jersey ahead of the show's Season 9 premiere next Wednesday, November 7th. This season promises to be one of the most dramatic yet, with new and returning cast members going head-to-head over family, fashion, and friendships and more. And if the trailer is any indication, we can expect more than a few wine glasses being thrown in the process. Let's roll the clip.
This season on The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
You don't go in between families. You don't cross the line. You don't do that.
No one tells me how to speak to my husband. Not my sister-in-law, no one.
Like, it shouldn't even be asked in an Italian family.
Teresa, this one's got you going in circles.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid with her.
You don't even know what you're saying anymore.
You want something, bitch?
You got the wrong girl.
We are Italians from Jersey. We love hard, we fight hard, and we go hard.
You guys are like my bitches, and I'm your pimp.
Look at you. Oh, that body. I have no underwears on.
You look good on your back.
Oh, thanks.
Are you freaking kidding me?
That was like me shooting alone, right?
Ew, really?
I was being arranged for marriage. We did this chaperone date. I'm like the badass Jewish chick from Jersey.
Tell me how hot that is before I put it. We're coming to Turkey.
Ooh, my camel toe is getting a camel ride.
Sometimes my children are birth control.
You're so cute.
What do you say, Joe?
I really am.
The tinier, the better your ass looks.
Girls doesn't do basketball, and I'm learning how to be a princess.
I can't relate to people who have affairs with married people.
That's why your husband sleeps in his girlfriend's bed.
You better shut the f up with that!
You can't control a man. That's your husband.
You control your husband?
Yeah. You feel like your husband would be in jail if you could control what he did?
She didn't mean anything. Now you're sticking up for her. You think she's God.
I really don't know if you're ever really gonna like love me like your real sister.
Well, please join me in welcoming Melissa Gorga, Margaret Josephs, and one of this year's two new cast members, Jackie Goldschneider. Thank you guys for being here.
Hi.
So we're 1 week out. I think that trailer is like a cinematic masterpiece. Like the empty table with the yelling and the glasses broken. What do you, when that trailer comes out, came out like probably a month ago or so, does that trigger memories for you guys about filming?
Yeah, it kind of feels like it was yesterday, but it was literally like a couple months ago. It's crazy, yeah. We get mad all over again.
Yes. When you go back and watch it, and you think of everything that happened. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that happened. I can't stand her.
And that's a new experience for you, Jackie. You're one of the new ones this year.
Yeah,
Talk to me about
great.
that.
I love seeing it, the way it's coming together and everything. And I've watched the trailer maybe 100 times. I love it.
I'd like to start with you though, because you are one of the two new cast members this year. And Margaret introduces you to the group in the premiere episode. How do you guys know each other, and had you seen the show before?
Margaret and I share a close mutual friend who introduced us. So we knew each other coming in, and our friendship really, really developed once it started. But we did know each other coming in. We were friendly, and I always watched New Jersey. So since day one, it was one of the few that I watched.
And that's a question that I have for all the new, when I've interviewed a lot of housewives over the years, and for all the new ladies that I interview, I always ask sort of, how do you make sure that you're yourself and not modeling yourself off of maybe what you've seen on past seasons or so? Mm-hmm. How did you kind of balance that?
I think before every day would start, I just reminded myself that, you know, one day I'll be watching this back, and just to be I was very aware of that I wanted to. And also, I think if you're going in pretending to be somebody who you're not going to be able to keep that up the entire season. So I was really just myself, and I think that's why I love the whole process so much.
Totally. Melissa, you're our vet right now. You've been on, I think this is your 7th season on the show. Which
7 seasons.
Which is an accomplishment, you guys. I think we need to applaud that because, like,
thank you.
It takes a lot to get through these seasons.
It does. I'm still alive, so that's good.
Do you remember what life was like before the Housewives?
You know, I was just talking about this earlier today. I really don't. I remember that, like, I had a bunch of little babies and I was always home, and now I'm like really busy. So that's the difference. But it's been so great. Obviously, I have envy from it, and I have so many businesses from it now that just have flourished. So I'm very lucky, and it just keeps going and going and going. And I think Jersey's so great because it's family based, so people love that.
Yeah, and your kids have pretty much grown up on the show at this point.
They have. They have.
You and Teresa's kids have grown up together in front of cameras.
Yes.
And I'm sure they love it.
They do. You know what? I have to say, my kids are very unaffected. They do not pay attention to the cameras. They don't think they're like on TV. They're just unbothered by it, which I think is like really, really good. They're not like walking around like, they just really don't even pay attention to it.
They live their life.
They live their life. Yeah. They're not like all over Instagram, and they're just not.
Yeah. And something that's been really fun to watch is you and Margaret together. I think you say on the premiere episode, you say that you and Melissa hit it off like a house on fire or something. I think that's the line that you use. But talk to me about what makes your friendship work so well, because you guys are really fun to watch together on screen, and you know.
Yes. I just, I just feel like Melissa and I, we're both in business. We're both married to height challenge, jealous little Joes. I feel like even though I'm older than Melissa, we live very similar lives.
We're Aries.
We're
so
both,
I think.
yeah, we're
There we
both
go.
Aries. We're fun girls. We have amazing families. We both have great marriages. And I just think we're both, just fun girls. We don't take life too seriously. And we're not hypersensitive. We could laugh at ourselves. So I think we just bonded, and we have same life views, and I think that's really what it is.
We do. You know what? I always say that me and Margaret both work really hard, but we play really hard. Like
Yes.
we're the first
I agree
ones
with that.
that'll be out on the dance floor, but we're the first ones to get roll our sleeves up and go to work. So
Yes.
that's
And
why we
maybe
have a lot of the same. Right?
Stay out, stay out
Yes.
the latest. We never want to go home. We're
Yeah.
the first on
Never
the
go
dance floor,
home.
the
We're
last
party-
ones-
we're
Don't
the
go home.
hardest-
We're
last
not gonna go
ones
watch
to
it.
leave.
Yeah, we're actually like the hardest workers and the biggest party girls all in one. So.
Exactly.
That's what we love as Housewife fans.
Yeah.
And Margaret, this is your second season on the show, but I kind of think of you in a similar vein as Erica Jane on Beverly Hills, and that.
thank you. That's
in
an amazing
and
compliment.
you're both
Thank you.
kind of immediately fan favorites, right? And it kind of, you feel like you've been around
Thank you.
already for a while. Talk to me about kind of coming into the second season, and if your approach changed at all, or what, did you learn anything from the first season that you're bringing with you into this second season?
I think I'm just my same self the second season. I was thrilled to do it. I think it's a lot. I think I had, a very intense first season. I think I, was thrown into it.
Yeah,
It
I would agree with that.
Yeah, first season was very crazy. But I think I'm my regular self, the way I am on the show. It's a reality show. I'm like that every day in life. So I just went into it, just like it films my everyday life. I was already, close with Melissa. I really enjoyed it. I think all the fans are going to enjoy this season. I laugh a lot, just like my tagline says. I can make you laugh, or I can make you cry. I make people cry, I make them laugh. And I think that's just the way I live my life, and I think everybody gets to see it.
Totally. I think that comes across very authentically.
Oh, thank you.
Melissa, you've been around for a lot of new people coming and going over the years.
Yes.
How do Jackie and her and the new one Jennifer? How do they do?
Okay, well, I always say it's like Jersey is absolutely the hardest show to cast. It really is, because we are family, and it's hard to bring new people in with us. These two couldn't be more complete opposites. The two new girls, which I love. I love that they're complete opposites. They're like polar opposites, and I have to say, this is the best casting that we've ever done. They fit in with us perfectly. They bring two different worlds, two different opinions, and it's not easy to cast Jersey, but we're done. This is it.
And some haven't worked in the past, but it's good to hear that
Right,
Jackie and
I think-
Jennifer.
Yeah, we got
here
it
to
this
stay.
time. We got it this time.
Jackie, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like you and Jennifer kind of played off of one another and brought different things to the table this
I
year?
definitely think that we brought different things to the table, and I think that we each fit in really well where we fit in. So I think I found really true, genuine friendships with some of the women, especially the ones sitting next to me. And I think Jennifer found that with other women. So I think we both
Okay, so we
fit
have a little
very
tease
well.
there of what's maybe. I think we see a little bit of that in the trailer. I think we see that there's maybe a divide that
The alliances are
there's an
forming.
alliance. There are two alliances that seem to form. Does that kind of weave throughout the season? Are we going to see that? What can you tell me about kind of where the different friendships fall?
I think obviously we're very, the three of us are very close, and I think we have, similar views on life. It's not that we're all not close, but different times, throughout the season, there's different fights with everybody throughout the season. Everybody has differences of opinion. We're all super opinionated, and I don't think anybody's afraid to voice it.
Nobody would argue with that either.
And I mean, when there's cocktails involved, and no one likes to always eat on camera and everything else, except me, because I'm not drinking, so of course I'm, stuffing my face.
I eat and drink.
Well,
on camera.
these girls
Speak
eat,
for
but not
yourself, come on.
everybody. Everybody's just. It's interesting. It's interesting, but I feel like the three of us have been tight all season. None of us have really battled with each other, but I think. But Dolores, I think, has been pretty neutral the whole time. I think Dolores has been the voice of reason this season a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems like she came in kind of you guys didn't really necessarily click last year, but she kind of came in with an open mind about your friendship, it seems.
Yes, Dolores came with an open mind,
Yeah.
and I think we both came in that way. We were like, you know what, new beginnings for us. It'll be good, and I think it's worked.
Yeah. And Melissa, you keep talking about family, and you and Teresa are sisters-in-law, and that is a big that's kind of the core of the show at this point, I think. That's kind of what bonds everyone together. But it seems like there's some sort of fracture that happens this season. That's kind of what without ruining anything, the first episode kind of opens with a kind of a flash forward.
Yeah.
What about your relationship kind of makes it so it's kind of, you never really know what's coming?
You know what? I have to say we're like true sister-in-laws, and we don't get along all the time. We don't agree on everything all the time, but we are family. You're not going to see us go back to that really, really dark place that we once were, but we are going to argue. You're going to see us disagree. You're going to see me have certain feelings about the new girls and her feel completely opposite about them. And then there's just real family issues that go on that we argue about. And we are so over the cameras at this point, it doesn't matter if they're in the room or not, we're having the conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's real, it's authentic, and it's just where we're at. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why everyone appreciates the honesty.
Totally. And for you two that are kind of like, you're not in on the family aspect of that relationship, what's it like kind of coming into that and either picking a side or not trying to pick a side, or because it must kind of, you have to tread lightly up there.
I feel for them because when
I'm sure you
Teresa
do.
and I are going at it, everyone just kind of backs up like we don't know what we want to do here.
I think we did voice our opinion. You don't want to get in the middle of anybody's family, and you can understand both sides. But of course, you want to say something if you don't agree with it, and you want to back up your friend, and you want to be diplomatic about it. But sometimes when you're trying to be diplomatic, tempers flare. So it is hard to see your two friends, especially when they're family. It's emotion. There's a lot of emotion involved. Mm-hmm.
I was really new when the tension started again between Teresa and Melissa, but I had formed a friendship already with Melissa, and I did feel like I wanted to be supportive of her, so I did speak up, and so I tried to tread lightly there, but I guess it's a little awkward getting in the middle of family, but.
Yeah. Another kind of tense subject sometimes is Danielle, who's part of the show. She came back last year. Danielle was a part of the first couple seasons of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and she was a contentious figure, to say the least. But I think last year she stood her ground, and whether people liked it or not. Will we continue to see her be like a polarizing figure on the show, or what can you say about where she stands with everyone?
I mean, I say that she still comes in and causes drama constantly. You're going to see her like engagement party and her bachelorette party and her wedding, and whenever Danielle walks in the room, the drama's coming. So,
yeah, I think Danielle is a statement in general. Last year we were besties. This year you definitely see some stuff going on with us for sure. I've said this before. I mean, it's been all over the media. It's no secret that her marriage has unraveled. Married for 10 weeks, 5 years in gay years. It's fine. It works. But whatever.
20 proposals. I think she's been proposed to. I think 20 times.
This is like the 20th time she's been engaged.
But she, it works.
Mm-hmm. What's it like when real life events happen like that outside of the show, that either we're going to see or not see? What's it like, sort of like when you have to talk about the show? Is it hard to kind of navigate that, or because you guys must stick up for each other regardless of what happens on the show? You guys are kind of a family as a cast for Bravo, and Bravo is a family, I think. So what's it like kind of addressing those things?
It's always hard when it comes to the real issues.
Yeah.
Especially when they're happening in my family and people are asking you questions about it. And, we really do put it all out there, but there are certain things we'd like to keep private, and it's hard because we don't really keep much private. I really have nothing that's off limits for me besides my children, like in my house.
Right.
Anything kind of goes. So it's hard. It's hard when there's like big life situations going on and you're on a reality show. It's like they want it,
Yeah.
They want it. So.
Yeah.
I think we're all also, with everything going on now, and obviously I think we're all super supportive. I think we all put our crap aside, even if we're fighting, and if something horrible is happening to one of our castmates, I think we all rally together to be supportive, which is good. I mean, at the end of the day, we're a team. We love each other. Even if we're fighting, we don't wish ill on anybody on our cast.
Totally. And have you found that? I mean, this is probably new territory for you, Jackie.
It is, but I didn't feel like any of the fights or anything that I had this season were really about anyone's character or
Right.
really were about me disliking a person for who they were. So they were all things that you could really come back from if you're like calm about it and you're sensible about it. So I mean, none of the fights I had were vicious enough that anything could happen to somebody that I wouldn't be there to support them.
It's not like friendship ending in real
Right,
life.
no.
Right, totally. So Melissa, I'd like to kind of like step back a little bit because you've been a part for 7 seasons of this show. Where does this season rank for you? Because again, we've seen a lot of iterations of Jersey over the years.
I know. Well, if you go by Andy Cohen's Twitter, it's like #1 right now.
There we go. That's the only opinion that matters.
He
you guys.
hasn't stopped. He said like this is the best season he's seen in a long, long time. I think it's amazing. I really think it's amazing because we were able to bring in 2 new people that mix with us, and we've always had a problem with that. So this time, I think that we got it right, and we are truly like a good group of girls that like are not scared to bring it. So I'm gonna say this one's up there. I think season 4 is my favorite, and this one's right next to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there like a moment for you personally that stands out from over the years, like like a fight or a makeup or something
There's so many, really.
that
I
you
mean-
really think of that it just like kind of defines your experience on the show,
Defines
for
my
better or worse, I would say.
I mean, listen, there were so many like good and bad things. For me personally, it was just so fun for me, like doing music on the show and just like all of the on display stuff for me was the most fun. It was just like a fun part. Housewives was huge. It was just big, and it was just I have to say those were my most fun memories.
And I think something that fans of Bravo are fans of most shows on Bravo, I'd say. There's a fandom for this network that's really passionate, and they love all the shows. And they love to hear about you guys hanging out with people in other cities.
Yes.
Who are your friends on other franchises? Jackie, who have you met? Talk to me about sort of who you hang out with outside of the show.
I've been, with Dorinda, I've gotten to go to her house in the Berkshires, which has been great. Yeah, Ramona, just because we're geographically desirable.
New York and New Jersey,
Right,
there we go, yeah.
New York and New Jersey. I've become friends with Deandra on Dallas because she's also in business. I think I've gravitated towards other women on franchises who had businesses. We can relate to each other. So that's really who I've become close with. But definitely Dorinda. I feel like we're kind of similar.
Yeah. She's a Jersey girl. I'm closest with the Beverly Hills girls. I'm close
Love
with
the Beverly Hills
Kyle
girls.
and Erica. Yeah.
I met Deandra through Margaret, and I love her. And then only on social media, I've gone back and forth a bunch with Emily, the new girl on OC, who I love, and a little bit with Leanne Locken, and I look forward to meeting the rest.
And I think we'd love more crossover moments like that, but that's just a fan speaking in me. And you mentioned your businesses. I think that's something else of the show is it's really unique that you guys this is a platform for you guys to grow businesses and start brands and connect with new people that otherwise didn't know about your products. But talk to me about growing your businesses on this show and kind of the value that it's brought to you.
Yeah, that is one thing you can't deny. Like, there's good and bad with reality TV, but the platform that it gives you. I have Envy right now, and every year it just keeps growing and growing for me, and people are loving it. Like, I feel like I found my niche, I found my
awesome.
thing. Yeah, thank you. So it's just been really, really good, and it keeps growing, and I thank Bravo for that because, everyone knows about Envy because of this show.
The show, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great platform, and you You got to give credit where credit's deserved. I'm very thankful for that. And, you know, Bravo turned me into like some little powerful businesswoman, which I appreciate.
Hey,
you know?
own it, you
Yeah.
know, as Lisa Rinna says.
Yeah.
And Margaret, you're wearing one of your own designs, I think, right now.
Yes, we're
Looking
going back
amazing.
into clothing. Thank you. I've had Macbeth collection by Margaret Josephs, believe it or not, since 1999. A lot of people didn't know about it. We sell a lot of, you know, mass retailers. It's from the Kohl's, the Pennies, the Targets, and everybody like that, TJ Maxx's. So I'm in licensing, which people, you know, I design for other companies under my brand. They manufacture it. But we've gone back into clothing, pajamas, and I think this has been a great platform. I can wear my clothes. Melissa, you know, Melissa is carrying my luggage. We have a luggage line. It's a great platform so everybody can know that I had a brand. I've been in business a long time, so it's great for that.
And you can all support one another, which is amazing.
Yes, and supporting women
Yeah.
in business and to be charitable also. A bunch of us have been so charitable. It's a great platform to get charities out there. It's amazing to make people aware of different things. We're very fortunate.
And before we go to the audience for a couple of fan questions, another aspect to being on the show is kind of the social media aspect of it all and just kind of hearing feedback from fans for good and bad. I'm sure you guys know. Did you guys give any advice to Jackie about sort of how to navigate that? Because it's difficult terrain.
Yeah, I think social media for housewife shows in general is rough. They can be rough. There can be a lot of negative comments. And I always say, like, just ignore them. When you engage and you go back and forth, you're like, they're waiting for you to, like,
But isn't it so tempting to just be like,
it is.
come
Sometimes
on.
you want to be like, you know what? You're a real piece of.
I answer some negative stuff, but in a funny way. Like people say funny stuff, you know, rude things to me. Margaret, you know what? Your boobs are saggy. You know, why were they like, you know, like that? And then I'll say to them, I'm like, you know what? My boobs are real. They are saggy. And please recommend a good
That's
surgeon
life.
for me. You know, I'll just answer something funny back. You can't take anything so seriously. You know what? At least they're watching. And that's what I
Totally.
say. You know what?
True.
As much hate as you're giving me, at least you're a fan. You're turning on the TV. Bring it. I'm thrilled.
They're a fan and they feel so deeply about the show that they're taking to Twitter to tweet at you.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
that just means you're connecting with people. And finally, what can you tease for this season? How would you describe how this season's going to go down?
I think it's deep. I know my storyline gets really deep this season with my personal family, not so much Joe's family. You're going to see a lot of my sisters and my mother this season. But I think in general, it's a funny, like, dramatic season. Yeah. That's what I think it is. I think there's a lot of fun.
A lot of delusions, tantrums, and dancing.
There's a couple delusional.
Friendships, a lot of really deep, like sincere friendships, and a lot of family. A lot of kids, like our kids, absolutely fell in love with each other, and there's a lot of that.
And that's kind of all you can ask for.
Yeah.
That's the family tie that Vanessa was talking about. So we're going to cut to the audience. I think we have a couple fan questions at the red sofa back there.
Hi. So the show obviously showcases everyone's personalities, like, in full front. Is there anything about yourselves that maybe doesn't come through on the show that maybe you'd like to comment on, or maybe something you'd like to highlight? Like anything from your...
Well, you guys try to show most of yourselves, but is there something that you think maybe doesn't come across as much?
I think you get the real me. I think you see me laughing, crying, being sarcastic, bitchy. No, you know what? I think the only thing people don't realize, like when I said I didn't speak to, you know, two of my children don't speak to me. They're grown adults. One's 41 and one's like 37. I also have numerous children. People don't realize that. I've never discussed that on the show. So I think people don't realize that I'm really a mom and I am close with my other kids. So everyone's like, yeah, but you know, so that's the only thing. I am very close, but they just choose not to be a part of the show. And I think people don't realize that.
Anyone else? No?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I come off pretty much how I am in person. I don't think they mess with me. They try to make me a princess sometimes,
Yes,
like I'm a
you're
little,
not.
and that's not true. I'm not, you know, they try to like mess with me that way. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much the same, right? Would you say?
Yes, I think
Okay.
you're just...
I haven't seen the
Low maintenance
episodes yet,
disguised
so I'm
behind
not
the
sure
maintenance.
how I'll
Jackie's staying
come
out of
across.
this.
But I hope they showcase my dancing abilities. I'm just kidding. They're not.
Next question.
My question is for Melissa. Where is your relationship with Teresa at today?
We're good. We're good. We're just, you know, we're good. We just our kids are together all the time. She lives literally a mile away from me. So we see each other all the time, and we're always like in contact. But we're good. Yeah.
I think we have one more question in the audience.
Hi, so being from New Jersey myself, I was just wondering, what are your favorite parts of New Jersey or living in New Jersey?
I like New Jersey because you get the best of both worlds. Like I can have my backyard and I can be in New York in like a half hour. So for me, it's like genius because you can get out of all this hustle and bustle and you can go like swim in our pool in the backyard, which is, I just like location for New Jersey, you know.
I agree. I love where we live in Bergen County. Jackie and I live right near each other. We live right by the city, so I almost say it's like the upper West Side. So it's
basically the city.
Yeah. So it's so close, and I love that you're close to the beach. So we get, you know, you could go down the Jersey Shore, like Melissa said, you get the best of everything. The only bad thing about Bergen County is the malls aren't open on Sunday, and we don't have tax on clothes, so that's great.
I'm a really big fan of malls. I love malls.
Okay.
And Jersey
Retro.
has a plethora of malls. So I would say that's one of the best things about Jersey for me. I could get lost in Garden State Plaza all day long.
Couldn't we all? Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Melissa Gorga, Jackie Goldschneider, and Margaret Josephs. The Real Houses of New Jersey returns next Wednesday, October 7th at 9 p.m. So tune in then. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks guys.